Hi everyone. This topic is like a second part of the first one about the guy who got scammed by a single mom Filipina. So yeah, I want to tell you guys about romance scams. For those who doesn't know what romance scams means, it means like making someone fall in love with you until you little by little try to get money from them, extort money, or use that ability or that love, you know, to gain something from that person. It's sort of like, Cleopatra. Isn't it? To get power, she did that. Anyway, there are different kinds of, romance scams in the Philippines. To be honest, it is my first time to hear this term, and I'm very surprised that I have been witnessing it all my life, and yet I didn't know that there was a term. So I'm happy about it. So what are the, types of, romance scams in the Philippines? Let me give them to you. Number one, there are a lot. I'm also surprised, but maybe there are more, but I just didn't write them down or didn't, figure out a name for them. Single mom scams, like the one that happened to our dear friend. And then fake profile scams, student scams, ladyboy scams, long-term scams, working woman scams, married woman scams, and then model scams, and gay scams. So, child scams as well. So what are these? Let's start with number one, single mom scams. Normally, this one is like they would use their child. They would make you fall in love, and then they would, of course, as a guy, normally, especially, Western people, they're quite open to adoption or accepting the woman's child as their own. So, and we always have a good, we feel sorry. Really, it's easy for men or for anyone to feel sorry for a single mom. I mean, a mom, yeah, single moms. So sometimes they use this kind of, pity for them to extort money. Like, I need milk for my child, I need to bring my child to the hospital, and so on and so forth. On the other hand, we might think that it is a good thing, maybe for them. I mean, they're just doing it for their children, if we were going to think it on that point of view. But on the other hand, we really don't know if they're really doing it for their children. And we even don't know if it's their child. And we even don't know if, they're really spending the money for the child, or if the child is really sick. I have this experience wherein one woman, she found out that the guy prefers like a female, child, and then she said, "Oh, I have a child and it's a girl." It's true, she has a child, but it was a guy. But she would borrow her sister's daughter as her own to show to the guy. Until now, that guy doesn't know that the girl wasn't her daughter, it was her sister's daughter. And yeah, but they already separated, and it was sad. Like, everyone knows, every people around, if they would invite the guy into the party, friends, family, everyone knows that the child is not hers but her sister's, but no one is speaking about it. So it does happen. How would you know? Well, from since birth, and probably you would know if you could check the child's, the sisters, maybe it's not there, something like that. And there's also this incident wherein another child scam, or but let's stay with the single mom first. Yeah, and later I'm going to talk about the child scam. The next one is fake profile scam. Fake profile scam, this type of scam is really rampant now in the Philippines. People are stealing photos of other women and put it on their Facebooks, sometimes to ruin other people's lives. For example, if they hate that one person, they're gonna make a profile using that and then use nasty words like this, like that. It's a dirty game. Like, I think that's for cowards, to be honest. And sometimes some women, probably because of envy, they would do that. And sometimes some women, because they're old, they're just gonna steal those photos from, you know, the pretty one and make a profile. And then how would you know that it's a fake profile? First, you can ask that person to Skype with you. Videos don't lie. I mean, I can make myself thin over my photos, but I'm still fat. So think about that. And another thing is, there are some women who are married properly to their partners, but then because they needed extra money, some women would ask them, hey, can I use your photos like this, like that? I'm gonna make a Facebook account, and then I'm gonna give you some money if you will send me. For example, my friend wants my photo, so I say, okay, every time you send money to my friend, she's the one chatting with you, talking with you. But if she needs me to show myself like in a video call, it's like a script, I would say yes, because I'm gonna gain money from that as well. That happens a lot. I'm not saying it happens always. So it happens a lot. That's why even probably if you have a video call or something, I cannot guarantee you that that person is not scamming you or is fake, because it happens. They're gonna like rent someone else to do it for them. And when you get to the Philippines, some women even agree to meet the foreigner. Now, how would you know when that happens? Well, ask her random questions and probably tell her that you will take her in another country just, you know, to test her, something like that, because it does happens. Or you could actually try to tell that person that you would know it if she's in a hurry to go home because she has a family. And yeah, something like that, unless they're really professional scammers. Now that's creepy. Okay, the student scam. Here, this is also a popular one. In as much as foreigners would love to have their Filipinas with them in another country, sometimes it's also good for them that they would send them to schools in the Philippines. Unfortunately, some people who are studying, they would get, you know, because of love and then a commitment, like, hey, I'm gonna go to school for us to have a better future abroad, I'm gonna work with you, so on and so forth. Then they're gonna give you this very expensive, you know, school list or expenses, but actually there isn't, or it isn't that expensive. Or yeah, or after they graduate, eventually they'll have like a boyfriend in school and leave you. So those things happen. Another one is the ladyboy scams. Now, I'm not against ladyboys or transgender. In fact, I have many gay and transgender friends and I love them so much. So this only happens, but I have to say this, some ladyboys would, you know, pose as women, and the guy would, you know, send money, so on and so forth. And then it's late when they find out that he's actually a guy. So that type of scam is bad. Now, if from the start the ladyboy knows that the guy is, the guy knows that the ladyboy is a ladyboy, and I don't think it's a problem. It's a personal choice of happiness. Next one, working woman scam. These are like, they have a good job, but still they scam using, you know, beautiful profile photos and so on and so forth, just to have extra money to support their needs and personal things. Or sometimes they do date. A lot of working women date, but they still need money, extra money to, you know, sustain themselves. And many, just I want to add, some women, probably I can add it to the, you know, trying to pretend rich woman scams. These women, they are actually poor, but because they are trying to look rich in front of their friends or classmates, they will end up scamming men online. It happens, or they would be, nowadays it's very popular. We call them walkers. Later I would discuss what walkers are. Okay, I'll discuss it now. Walkers, these are women who they're actually very beautiful. Some of them are students, and some one time I saw this site, this group, they are walkers. It says like coffee shop. I thought they're talking about coffee shop. I was surprised it's like a walker club where women would offer their services for a certain amount, like 2,000 pesos, and then they're actually beautiful, and it's really scary because some are like underage, and they are being handled by so-called walker manager. They call them walkers, like Walking Dead. Now, guys, these women, they're mostly very beautiful, and they're pretending to be rich in front of their friends, but actually they are selling themselves. The thing is, these women, it's okay. I don't really care if you want to date them or try them out. I don't. It's your personal business. But the thing is, please be safe, because these women don't go to, like hygiene, or go to the gynecologist to have themselves checked. Especially, you don't know if they are using protection. Although I saw their requirements, they actually require, they need protection before doing it. So yeah. There's like an online prostitution, which is really scary. Later, I'll be discussing that. It's not only the dating sites. Okay, next one. Yeah. Job applicant scams. This scam is a person, they would always, they're always trying to get a job, but they never got one. Too much, they would tell you, I'm trying to look for a job, blah, 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 but I need these documents. There are so many documents that they need. Remember, people, when you do a job application in the Philippines, when you do an application, all you need is your resume. Now, if you are hired, that's the time they're gonna ask for succeeding documents. So if she would still ask you continuously for the payment of her succeeding documents, and she never got the job, no, it's impossible. They wouldn't ask you to get a medical certificate. They wouldn't ask you to get your NBI police clearance, or so on and so forth, if you are not hired by the company. Initially, they would just ask for your resume. Thank you. Next one, gay scams. Okay, for my gay viewers right there, I would like you to know that in as much as, I love gays as well. Someone told me if I am a gay or a lesbian. No, I'm not. Just because I'm enjoying my life as a single person, or as a person who's enjoying life in, living this way. It's a wonderful place. Tokyo is a wonderful place. So I'm not in a hurry. And even if I'm dating, it doesn't matter, right? But I just want you to know that in as much as I respect lesbians and gays, I am not one of them. So I just want to clear that up. So gay scams, some men, some gays, or even men would try to extort money from their gay partners. Or sometimes some men would pretend as gays, and then when they meet the gay, they would rob him and worse, kill him. There was a story like that one time. I think he was a call center agent, like a high position. Then he met this guy, and then eventually the guy killed him and stole his things in his condominium. So just be careful. Also for gay scams, just be careful with, the things that they're asking from you, if they're asking too much. So, yeah. Those are the types of scams, or romance scams, that you might encounter. But what are the reasons for these scams? First of all, parents. Some parents, not all. Some parents would actually, influence their children, like, hey, I saw our neighbor, blah, 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 I heard she's doing this, why don't you try it? And just find a foreigner instead of a Filipino, so on and so forth. Or the parents would encourage their child to ask money, like for example, hey, why don't you just ask money from your boyfriend, he's a foreigner. It does happen, it did happen. Like my elder sisters, they don't really talk to me, I mean half sisters. And then one time, I told you guys I'm also dating, they saw me dating, dating, and then they saw the guy has a car. You have to think about this. My lifestyle between my sisters and I are a little bit different because we have different moms and different environments. So if a car for them is something really extravagant for them, and then in my side it's quite, I mean my mother's side, it's quite normal because most of my relatives have it except for me. So they told me, like suddenly they sent me a message, hey, it's we're gonna go somewhere as a family, why don't you come with us, along with my other half siblings who really didn't talk to me for a long time. Then I said no, I can't, but I was happy they sent a message. Suddenly she said, oh, since you're not coming, why don't you just give 2,000 pesos as your share. I'm like, what the, it's really, it's really sad that to be honest, I'm not really affected by it. I'm just like a little bit disappointed because I thought they're really trying to do amends, because they were really, we are still sisters probably, but I guess yeah, family's not always by blood. So that one, parent scams or family scams happen. They would encourage their family to do it. It is only because first, the girl is pretty, and second, the girl is willing, probably. Next one, child scams. Child scams because of their children. Some foreigners, they have a child with a Filipina, and because yeah, they have to support the child, but sometimes these people or these women would make up reasons like the child is sick, the child needs to pay this, the child, until it's getting out of hand. And then next one, pleasure. One of the reasons is pleasure, like yeah, because they get used to it, like having money all the time. It's very difficult for them to change their lifestyle from, for example, before it's difficult for them to have a good meal, and then when they had it, they want to continue it, but unfortunately the person who made them experience that is not available anymore, so they would look for someone who could provide them. And then influenced by other people. Since there are many successful scammers doing it, it gives them encouragement that, oh, we can also do this. Like for example, my stepmom's, she used to take my little brother to the daycare, and then she found out that one of the wives, one of the girls there, one of the moms, her husband is a police, and then but the police would let her chat with foreigners, so they get money monthly, and she even meets the foreigner, and then they were able to like have a tricycle, and they were able, yeah, according to my stepmom, when it comes to food and tricycle and a motorcycle, they were all bought through asking money from the foreigner. So maybe that's you, you should stop. I'm kidding. So yeah, how would you know that they are really scamming you? Some little pinpoints. Probably too soon to say that they love you. If it's really too soon, now you gotta worry about that. And then they have a lot of money requests, and then next one, they would make some reasons, like a lot of reasons why they need the money, a lot of emergency things. And then either they have debts or certain bills. And another one, you would know that they are scamming you if, yeah, if you add them on Facebook, like they cannot really post real time. If you try to talk to them on video, they couldn't really show it to you. And then if you tell them you wouldn't send them any money, they would stop talking to you. That's the biggest one. Like, some foreigners are quite smart. They would lure them first. Okay, I'll give you now. And then after that, they'll stop. And then the girl would get so angry. Now that's a scammer. Or she would, be hysterical. But if some smart foreigners, they would just, say, I will not give you money. And then the girl will say, okay, it's okay for me. But eventually she's gonna have all these financial troubles, even no internet connection, and then the guy, they want to talk to that person, so they would send money. Still they're scammed, right? Who is the better thinker? So a Filipina, I mean a scammer, not only Filipina, scammer would do their best. Like, even if you would say no, they're gonna say, oh, it's okay. Now if they start losing interest with you, if you know, like they would stop sending you a message, now that's already a sign that they are just there to scam you. Now number two, if they stay a little bit longer, like for example, they would still talk to you even though you wouldn't send any money, so on and so forth. If they start talking about money problems, now that's a red flag. And if you don't give them, they would say it's still okay, but they would still try. But if you really won't give them, they would stop. So once you don't give them the amount that they need, no matter reasons what they use, like I'm gonna die soon or something like that, that is already scamming. So I hope this thing helps you on how to identify them and the names, if ever. Maybe there are a lot more, but I don't know all of them. So yeah, thank you for listening and have a nice day ahead. Sorry it's too long.